The soft drizzle had just begun when Emma, a young woman dressed in a worn-out gray sweater, walked slowly through the misty graveyard. In her trembling hands, she held a small bouquet of wildflowers, the kind she picked every week from the edge of the park because she couldn't afford store-bought ones. Her shoes were muddy, her clothes damp, but she didn't care. She came here for the same reason every Sunday, to leave flowers on the grave that had given her life new meaning. The gravestone read, Eliza Chase. Emma didn't know Eliza personally, but the woman's story was engraved deep in her heart. 2 years ago, Emma had collapsed in the hospital when she couldn't afford her mother's surgery. She had been hopeless, crying in the hallway when a nurse told her something strange: her mother's operation had already been paid for. When Emma asked who did it, the nurse only said, a woman named Eliza Chase left funds for people in need before she passed away. From that day, Emma promised to visit Eliza's grave with flowers, as her way of saying thank you. That morning, the fog hung heavy between the gravestones. As Emma knelt down, brushing the raindrops from the cold marble, she whispered softly, "Thank you, Eliza. You never knew me, but you saved my mother. I'll never forget you." Tears mixed with the rain as she placed the flowers down carefully. Suddenly, she heard footsteps behind her, firm, slow, confident. Startled, she turned around. A tall man in a black coat stood a few feet away, holding a little girl in his arms. His face was handsome but filled with sorrow. The man looked at the grave, then at the flowers, then back at Emma. "Why are you leaving flowers here?" he asked, his tone gentle but curious. Emma hesitated. I come every week. I never met her, but she changed my life," she said quietly. "She helped my mother survive when no one else would." The man's expression softened, his eyes glistening. "She changed mine too," he said after a long pause. "That's my wife's grave." Emma gasped, her heart tightening. She didn't know what to say. The little girl in his arms looked at the photo on the gravestone and whispered, "Daddy, is Mommy sleeping?" The man's lips trembled, but he managed a small smile. "Yes, sweetheart," he said softly, "Mommy's resting." They stood there together in silence, the rich CEO who lost his wife, and the poor girl who owed her everything. The rain fell harder, but neither of them moved. For the first time, Emma realized she wasn't the only one who came here to say thank you. After a while, the man placed a white rose on the grave. "Eliza always said kindness never dies," he murmured. "Even after she was gone, her heart still helped people like you." Emma looked down at the flower she brought, small and imperfect compared to his elegant rose. "I'm sorry," she said shyly. "My flowers aren't beautiful like yours. I just wanted to." He interrupted softly, "They're beautiful because they're real. Because they came from the heart." He looked at her again, studying her face. "You said she helped your mother. Tell me about it." Emma explained everything, how she worked 2 jobs, how her mother fell ill, how the hospital called to say the bills were covered. She didn't even know who Eliza was until she read her name on the list of donors after her death. The man listened quietly, the pain in his eyes slowly turning into something warmer. When she finished, he smiled faintly. "Eliza always believed in helping strangers. She would have been happy to know that someone still remembers her kindness." He reached into his pocket and handed Emma a small card. "I'm Ethan Chase. I own the company my wife built. If you ever need work, come to my office. I think she'd want me to help you too." Emma's eyes widened. I can't accept that," she stammered. "You've already given so much through her." Ethan shook his head. "You're not taking, you're continuing what she started. Kindness shouldn't end at the grave." The words hit her like sunlight through clouds. She nodded, tears flowing freely. "Thank you, not just for her kindness, but for yours," she whispered. The little girl leaned toward Emma and handed her a tiny pink flower she'd been holding. "For Mommy," she said. Emma smiled, placing it gently on the gravestone beside her bouquet. As they walked away, Emma stayed behind for a moment, watching them disappear into the mist. She looked at the flowers again, hers, his, and the child's. 3 lives, connected by one act of love that outlived death. She whispered to the wind, "Rest in peace, Eliza. Your kindness still blooms." When Emma finally left the graveyard, something had changed in her. She wasn't just a poor woman anymore. She carried a story, one of love, loss, and endless kindness. Weeks later, Emma started working at Ethan's company. She worked hard, always remembering whose kindness opened the door for her. Every year, she still visited Eliza's grave, not out of sorrow, but gratitude. And every time, she saw a single white rose waiting for her there. Because some bonds, no matter how unlikely, are written by the heart.